Hello, hello. Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope each and every one of you is chilling today. I hope the day is greeting you with some vibes of ease, of joy, of replenishing non-urgency, especially during this time of year. We're starting to get into that rest and relax mode, and also the oh shit, it's almost 2020, we need to get our shit together mode. So it's like this paradoxical sense of urgency and resting and going inward at the same time. I am definitely greeting you with some chill vibes today, and it feels so nice actually to not feel like there is a literal fire under my ass to get every single task done today. I've decided to just kind of step into just being uber relaxed, and what will be will be. Okay, so I want to talk more about intimacy for powerful women. This is something I've been thinking about a lot. It's something I have been experiencing a lot. It's something I have made a huge mess with and cleaned up. It's something that I feel like I've had great success with. And I want to share that with you all today. This message is particularly for women. However, a lot of these concepts that I'm going to be talking about are applicable to people who are craving a sense of intimacy and have a want to be seen and held and really understood. And I'd say that that's pretty uniform across all of humanity, whether you're a woman or not. But what I'm talking about today is intimacy for powerful women. And by that, I mean, you are the kind of woman who goes out and does all the things. You've created career success in your life. You may have a family. Perhaps you're a wife, a mother to children. Maybe you're not. But either way, you are out there. You are doing all the things. You're going to school. You're going to work. You're always learning, always doing something to improve yourself. And you likely don't know where your off switch is, or you find your off switch very selectively, but you don't seem to have a good grasp on how to really be able to turn off in the moments where you want to be able to relax and to replenish and rejuvenate. And so I want to talk about how that phenomenon or that experience interplays with our ability to create intimate connections. Now, in this case, I do mean romantically and sexually intimate. However, I've used these concepts with family, with friends, with colleagues as well. So this can be intimacy in any context of the word. Um, let's talk a little bit about what are some of the things that we kind of see. And in working with dozens and dozens of clients, high-powered women who are out there, CEOs of companies in finance, in banking, in the law industry, in the medical industry. These are women who really own it. And I'm probably talking to many of you who are watching now, who are listening to this after the fact. These are, let's see. So we're talking about women who are out and about and day in and day out are sort of creating the world around them. I'm I'm sitting in an area of this co-working space that I'm not supposed to be sitting in, so breaking the rules over here, guys. So where was I? Let's see. So I've mentioned this before, but let's talk for a moment about the concept of masculine and feminine energy. And again, this is separate from gender identification. So separate from masculine being associated with men only or feminine being associated with women only. These are more esoteric spiritual energies that are symbolized by yin and yang. And so we all have masculine and feminine energy in different proportions, in different moments. And so when we talk about masculine energy, that's really characterized by things like going, doing, achieving, analyzing, linearity, organization, structure, directness, presence. whereas feminine energy is more embodied and characterized by creativity, replenishment, nurturing, rejuvenation, non-linearity, free-flowing emotion. And so you may be able to tune in and hear how you have some of those at any given moment in your day, at any given moment in a particular season, in a particular setting, around particular people. Your masculine and feminine energy ebbs and flows. What I find with a lot of my clients, these powerful women I'm referring to, is that there is an overdrive of masculine energy. And there's nothing wrong with this, because this is the kind of woman I identify as, is a woman who is like ready to roll her sleeves up and get shit done almost all of the time. And that's great. It has brought me great career success. I have been able to accomplish and achieve a lot of things in my life. And what I found was happening was that was starting to impact the quality of romantic relationship I was attracting into my life. Because I was so in control and took so much leadership in my day-to-day experience, it left no room for a male partner in this case to come into my life and to exercise and allow to flow his own sense of masculine energy, because mine was so strong. And again, there's nothing wrong with that dynamic. However, when we're talking about things like sexual attraction and a continued sexual charge, there's got to be what's called polarity. Polarity, if you think of two poles of a magnet, negative and positive, it's the opposite ends that attract each other. And so same thing in relationships. When we're referring to polarity, it is a masculine energy and a feminine energy generally that attract each other. Whether you are a heterosexual couple, homosexual couple, however you identify, it is generally polarity that will keep the spark and the charge alive, no matter what your gender identification is. And so that also doesn't mean that the man always has to be masculine and the woman always has to be feminine. Even if the woman takes on a more masculine role and the man takes on a feminine role, as long as there is that polarity, there will generally be a sense of charge. And yeah, Michelle, you can totally relate. Same. So what I was finding in my relationships was that because I have such a strong masculine energy of going, doing, let me do this, let me cook, let me, roll my sleeves up, let me be in control, the relationships generally didn't last a long time, because there was no space for the man to step into his masculine energy. And on top of that, what I wanted the most, and I would say this to girlfriends here and there, was I wanted someone to just freaking take the reins. Like, can someone else just come in, take leadership for a moment? I'm out there being a leader all day, every day in my day. I want someone to just tell me what to do, where to show up, what time, I'll be there. So I was really craving for someone else to be the leader. I was craving for this male partner to be the leader and to take charge. However, I had no sense or lexicon for what it meant for me to surrender and submit. And a lot of times in our society, we equate surrender, submission with weakness. However, there is a beautiful, beautiful strength in surrender and submission. And arguably so, that the one who really knows how to surrender and knows how to embody surrender and can tap into it and choose it at any given time, in my opinion, might arguably be the stronger force of the two, because there is an ability to oscillate between overt strength and this more subdued sense of surrender and strength. And so there is a diversity and a richness that person can tap into. And so with most powerful women, we're finding that there's a lot of masculine energy, the going, doing, achieving, accomplishing, taking care of the kids, taking care of the house, killing it at work, killing it at school, doing all the things. Yet there isn't this ability, not yet anyway, to just relax, let your hair down, let it all happen. And so as I've been approaching that in my work, I want to talk about 4 keys that I have found are really powerful components of creating intimacy as a powerful woman. Hey, Sandy, thank you. So the first one is to acknowledge that it's okay to have needs and to express your needs. This is something I struggled with for such a long time, and I've had countless clients, even when I ask, what do you need right now? There's this radio silence, like, what do you mean, what do I need? I don't have any needs. Why should I have needs? It'd be ridiculous for me to have needs. It's never been okay for me to have needs. You understand where this is going. And for a long time, I thought I needed to be this needless, wantless, sexy, beautiful woman that fit in this neat little package. And that was what would be desired. However, I had no connection to what my needs were, whether that was a need that I had in my body, a need I had in order to express the kind of love that I wanted to receive. And I had no idea how to communicate those needs. I had no idea how to make requests from partners, from parents, loved ones, whomever, around what it was that would have me feel loved and supported in that moment. So I want to just really, really emphasize here, ladies, that it is okay to have needs. It is okay to express your needs. In fact, it is sexy. It is so sexy when someone can clearly say, hey, you know what? Here's what I need from you right now. Is that something you can help me with? Right? Imagine the scenario where you sit down at a restaurant, the server comes over and says, hey, welcome. My name's so-and-so. I'll be your server today. What can I get for you? Imagine sitting there and being like, I don't know. I don't know what you can get for me. Is it reasonable for me to want something off the menu? I mean, I know I walked into the restaurant, but is it okay? Is it okay that I could order something off this menu? That's going to be this weird discourse back and forth. Now, take that seemingly trivial example and overlay that onto how many of us have showed up in relationships, not acknowledging that, like, fuck yes, we have needs. And in fact, we want them to be met. And we want to know how to communicate them. And it's so sexy when someone can make a clear request, because as partners and lovers and people in our lives, people want to know how to show up for us and how to serve us. Women, that is the case. Your partner, whether they exist right now in real life or they are some person out there that is yet to find their way to you, they want to know what your needs are. They want to know how to love you. And if you can clearly communicate that and take ownership and agency over your needs and your desires, and you can say, hey, baby, here's what I want you to do for me right now. Can you do that? Imagine the awe and desire that partner will want to say, oh my God, I would love to meet that need. So sexy. All right, so that's the first one. Second one is learning how to receive, and why it's exactly why it's what our partner is craving. So in this dynamic of masculine and feminine energy, the masculine is the giver, the penetrator, the feminine is the receiver. And so when you think of sexual anatomy, it's the same way in terms of a male-female interaction. And so when you think of male giver, penis, female receiver, vagina, which, by the way, is not the correct anatomical term for the entire anatomy of a woman, but we'll use it for the sake of communication here. It's the same thing with this sort of esoteric energy. The masculine energy has a want to give, to provide. The feminine energy is able to receive and replenish and nurture in that receiving. And when we think of the dynamics of giving and receiving, if you think back to a time where you have gifted someone something and they fully received it and they were so happy and so grateful, what did that feel like for you? Was it not such a gift for that person to receive fully the gift that you were offering? Now, imagine that same scenario, but that person was like, no, I can't, please, no, I cannot receive this amazing gift you're giving me. I just won't. That would take all the joy out of it for you, the giver, because they weren't receiving. So being a receiver is also giving the gift of giving to the giver who is giving you the gift. Say that 3 times fast. Okay. When you receive, be it something emotional, something physical, when you receive your partner's touch and you really allow yourself to relax into it and you let them massage your scalp, or you allow them to make you a nice meal, that is tapping into your feminine energy, that receiving. and it gives them the gift of giving. And in fact, it is also what keeps that polarity alive, that masculine feminine polarity that creates and sustains charge and sexual spark. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, we've been talking about this, having this awareness of masculine and feminine energy and how to tap into each one at the right time. So in my relationship with Ani, this is something that I really got to tap into this weekend. And I'm going to tell you all a little story because y'all know I love telling stories. So Ani, my partner, whom I love so dearly, he's just a gift to the earth. We had a going away party this past weekend in New York because we are embarking on a really exciting journey to go nomadic for the winter. So we're heading to Austin in December and to Mexico and to various other places around the world. And we had a going away party, and in really awesome nature, I had a few drinks and I had a lot of fun. And post party, a bunch of friends and I ended up at a restaurant. And unlike me, I ended up leaving my purse at this restaurant. Absent-minded, was not worried about my belongings at that point. And I want to share with you all the gravity of this story because it seems like, an everyday sort of thing. I do not leave my stuff places. I am so on top of my shit. It's like ridiculous. I can tell you where any of my belongings are at any given time. And I seemingly always have my shit together. Although inside, I don't always have my shit together. Nor do any of us. And this was the biggest practice in surrender and letting go that I have had recently because multiple people saw me in what I would consider to be hot mess form. I mean, like stumbling a bit, just no care in the world, left my bag at this restaurant, was laughing all the way down the street. And I remember being so concerned for how people were perceiving me because I have this show to put on all the time. And listen for this, if this sounds like you, especially as a powerful woman or someone who is related to a powerful woman, someone who is dating a powerful woman, someone who is close with a powerful woman, then you know that there is this desire, this want, this need to keep everything in a straight line all the time. So I let loose and left my bag at this place. And I got back to the apartment and was ready to pass out, just completely done, and was like, oh shit, I left my bag. Ani and my other dear friend took care of everything. So in their masculine form, they organized the mission, they took the linear path back to the restaurant, they rescued the bag, they saved the day like the knight in shining armor, and I completely submitted and surrendered. I was scared shitless that my wallet was going to be gone, my phone, all my belongings, gifts from people that I had in my bag, all sorts of stuff. And I was like, all right, I've got to let go. I've got to just trust that they're going to handle this. And of course, Ani came back in true form and rescued my bag. And it was the biggest feeling of surrender and trusting. And again, another concept of the feminine, this trust and this letting go. And I remember him coming to cradle me after, and I just cried and cried and cried and cried in his arms because I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for letting me just let go. This was the embodiment of real letting go in this, context. And it was the ability to be all over the place. And this is another characteristic of the feminine is when the feminine is not contained, right, this energy, it will be out into the ether. It will be all over the place. So if you ever meet someone who seems kind of airy, not grounded, they may have sort of an overgrowth of feminine energy. They may be very much in a feminine energetic space. When you meet people who are extremely grounded, pragmatic, linear, organized, they're likely in a very masculine space in that moment. What the feminine desires is to have a safe sense of containment. So think of, a Tupperware that holds the contents of a soup and gives it form, right? If you pour the soup out and there's no Tupperware to pour it into, it's going to spill everywhere. It'll be a mess, right? But if you give the soup a very, very small container, it's going to spill over. So the feminine, and if we're referring to women in this case, the feminine wants to be safely contained, not constricted so that she's spilling over, but wants to be contained and held and safe. Most powerful women who are out there doing this for themselves, who are creating their own container, their own sense of safety, have likely never felt safe in a relationship before, who have also likely never felt safe in their bodies during sex, who have likely also never felt safe to emote and to be seen in the transmission of those emotions, who they've likely never felt safe to be a hot mess, have snot coming out of their nose and still be seen by a man or by a lover or partner. These women have likely never felt safe to really just let their shit hang out. And I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about all of you women who are watching this or who know women like this. We want and desire this safe container to be held, to be seen, to be understood, to be known in no matter what state we show up in. And for someone to say, you know what, I fucking got you. I got your back so hard. Girl, rage, emote, go wild. And to have that be witnessed without there being judgment. And so that is more of sort of the masculine, feminine dynamic in this. The last bit of this, the fourth key to intimacy for powerful women, is surrendering to your emotions and remaining with an open heart. And that sounds really noble in theory, but what the hell does that even mean? Remain with an open heart. I had no idea that meant nothing to me until I actually had practice with feeling myself viscerally contract, like my posture would contract in moments where I would be seen in a vulnerable space, whether it was emotion, crying, whether it was being seen in something that I felt like I failed at, and to really let myself be witnessed in it, to be with the real-time communication of, hey, listen, this is really challenging for me right now. I feel really embarrassed. I feel really scared. I feel really concerned and worried. I feel et cetera, et cetera. This is the definition of vulnerability. It's not how much we can tell people about past events, about how many people we've slept with, or how many times we were put in jail or whatever. And there can be vulnerability in sharing things about the past. The true vulnerability, in my opinion, is sharing where you are in real time so that someone can be in the experience with you. So surrendering to the emotion in the moment and allowing it to be what is. Shit, if you feel angry, fucking feel angry. Now that's different from expressing anger at someone. Being angry and being with anger and then communicating it to someone are two different things. So being with the anger, saying, hey, I feel really angry right now, and here's what I need, or I feel really vulnerable right now, I feel really scared right now, here's what I need. This is the surrendering to your emotions and remaining with an open heart. And by open heart, I mean remaining open to receive from someone. So if you know what your needs are, or you're in a situation where you could really be supported by someone or something, allowing yourself to receive that. And again, if we're talking about sort of heterosexual relating, which I know is not the most inclusive way to have this communication, this conversation, but when we're talking about this in terms of, a powerful woman being supported, I guess by anyone really, but in intimate relationship, whether that's by another woman, a man, whomever, allowing yourself to be seen, to be open-hearted, and to really be with whatever discomfort or joy or pleasure or stickiness might be there. And that's a huge part of this, because we do have the choice around when we want to be in that masculine sense of going, doing, pragmatism, achieving. That's a beautiful, beautiful set of qualities and attributes to embody. And there's so much power and richness when we can not only embody that by choice, but we can also tune into surrender, letting our hair down, a gentleness, a softness, a nurturing, a receiving. And from all of the clients I've spoken to, from all the experiences I've had as a woman, as a powerful woman, I love being able to do that. And when I feel safe in relationship to others, whether that's my partner Ani or to anyone else, the truest, most beautiful parts of me come out. And so if you are someone who has felt challenged by letting those parts of you out, but you've been waiting for someone to take the reins, you've been waiting for someone to step in and take leadership because you are out there leading it like a boss every day, and you're coming home and you're doing the same thing, start to ask, what is it I need? What do I want for myself right now? Once you can start to even create some sort of language, even if it feels or sounds messy, with yourself around what that is, you're one step closer to learning how to communicate that with other people and how to communicate that to a current partner, to a partner that's about to walk into your life. Because your partner who likely, if has their own sense of masculine energy, wants to be able to come in and provide for you, wants to meet your needs, wants to hold you and contain you in a safe space. And when you can allow yourself to ease into that and to receive that, that is where the true intimacy is. That is where there is a sense of choiceful power, and even power through submission and surrender. All right, so intimacy for powerful women in 4 powerful yet easy to understand concepts. I'm going to be talking a ton more about this. And in fact, if this is something you're interested in continuing to hear about, send me a direct message, hit me up. I'd love to continue the conversation because this is the work that I'm doing with women. It is so truly, truly pleasurable to be able to serve in this way and to be able to be the guinea pig in my own life. So if this is you or a woman and you really are ready to surrender and submit, but you want to know that your back is had unapologetically by your partner or by those you're in relationship with, then take a look at this video, check it out, drop me a line, let's talk more. This is the work that I do with women. I'm so thrilled and honored and blessed to be here in service. Sending you all much love and good vibes from New York City, but not for much longer because I'm about to be on the road. All right. Peace, everyone. Mwah.